Drivers getting ready to roll at Bristol Motor Speedway. The first short track race of the season, a half mile, I should say, with Martinsville coming up. Carl Edwards saying everything's okay between Brad Keselowski and himself. And the veteran Mark Martin, the honorary starter for today's race, grew up around here as a big NASCAR fan. That's Cowboys tight end Jason Witten. Saw Joe Gibbs from Joe Gibbs Racing, former Redskin coach, who Gibbs going into the Texas Motorsports Hall of Fame. So the NFL loves NASCAR, as Jeff Hammond and I do from the Hollywood Hotel. And Jeff, what's on your Verizon checklist as we get ready to roll here? Well,
when it comes to Bristol, you always have things a little bit unique. First thing you got to do, you got to get up on the wheel. Right at the drop of the green flag, you got to get up there and make it happen. Secondly, you need to anticipate. You need to anticipate what's going on in front of you as well as what's happening to your race car. And last but not least, you need to control your emotions. Don't worry about what's going on around you. Make sure you keep control of your emotions in your race car.
And we've already seen a couple of weeks ago how that can change the outcome of a race.
Chris, now, in other words, when it comes to Bristol,
yeah.
You know what that means?
Be cool.
Watch out!
And there's less room to watch out. What do we lose? About 3 feet. The safer barriers on the walls, that's nice, but it narrows things. Some drivers have said that's a bigger issue than others.
Well, it's that when you want to late exit the corner, you wanted an extra foot and a half that's not there anymore. So it's going to create a problem, I think, when we get to racing today. You take a look right about where the sweeper truck is, how much is extended almost down to the start-finish line, and that's going to be an issue before the day's
all right, so when Juan Pablo Montoya said it doesn't affect where I run on the track, what about some drivers that did? I know we saw what Kyle Busch spun in practice.
I think it's going to start at the bottom. The groove is going to be at the bottom early, and it's going to go to the top before the end of the day.
Jimmy Johnson, all that he's won, he has yet to win here. So let's head back down trackside for the words we like to hear to get things rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the words we've all been waiting to hear, Foodcity 500 Grand Marshal Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Send our best wishes to the president and GM of this track, Jeff Bird, recovering from an illness. We wish him the best, and we'll get ready to race here in Bristol in just a moment.
It's the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series on Fox, presented by GoDaddy.com. There's hallowed ground, the checkered flag line at Bristol, Tennessee, where 43 drivers are hoping to be in a little more than 3 hours. Hi, everybody, with Darrell Waltrip and Larry McReynolds. I'm Mike Joy. Thunder Valley has been the scene of the 3 R's of racing: wrecking, retaliation, and rivalries. But, Darrell, it is a day long, full of casual contact.
I guess you could say casual contact. Listen, if you think I got a big smile on my face, it's because we're at a place that I love to come to. I love this joint. And you're right, Mike. You're going to have casual contact. You got to know that going in, and you can't let that affect the way you race. Take it and move on. Retaliation, that's a whole nother story.
Well, Darrell's the king of Bristol. He's won here 12 times, including 7 in a row. But, Larry, how do you as crew chief and the spotter help keep 4 fenders on that car?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what role you play here, whether you're the driver, the crew chief, even the owner. This place will test you to the fullest. It has to be a team effort. The driver has to keep his emotions in check. The crew chief has to help, and more importantly, that spotter. I talked to Clint Boyer this morning, pretty good race car, starting deep in the field. He said, I know somebody's going to drive into the side of me. It may be intentional, it may not, but I have to keep my focus on the big prize, and that's still being on the racetrack when it says 500 laps on the scoreboard.
All right, let's have a look at the starting grid for today's race. Boyer, he's still hot under the collar from last night when his Jayhawks got beaten the last few seconds. Darrell, let's dial up our pole sitter.
Joey Logano, it's a DW. Got a copy there, buddy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Joey, first of all, congratulations on the pole, and what an incredible turnaround from the first 2 times you've been here. What are your goals today, there, bud?
Keep this thing alive and try to finish it. That's been my biggest problem here at Bristol. I've always had fast race cars, but had a hard time finishing these things. So number 1 priority is getting the lap 500 there, and hopefully around here towards the front still, and hopefully bring home a W here. That'd be pretty cool. Either way, it's pretty neat to start here on the pole, and sure the guys will have good pit stops, keep us up there, got a good starting position, good pit position there, so hopefully we can hang in here.
All right, my friend, good luck to you. Sorry about yesterday, but good luck on today to bring her home.
Thanks.
Joey was running 5th yesterday on the last lap when Kevin Harvick turned Joey around. He ended up 14th, but today he shares the front row with 5-time Bristol winner Kurt Busch. This race is brought to you by Budweiser, the beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do. Larry, how about our FedEx understanding the race today?
These are the trends, the patterns we'll look at for these crew chiefs to try to call this race. The last 9 spring races here. The longest green flag run, roughly 101 laps. A fuel run here is about 140 to 150. Last caution, average lap 472, but the last 3 races, that last caution in the last 10 laps, remember, 3 attempts at the green-white checkered. Cars running at the finish, average 36 cars, a lot of cars repaired, back on the track to get valuable Sprint Cup Series points.
I guarantee you, if we get to the green-white checkered, they'll wish they had about 1 because it's going to take more than 3 to settle it.
Instead of the wave around, it's going to be a call to roll back in the wrecker. Bring them around. 61 degrees, and it struggled to get there. About an hour and a half ago, the cold front came through, and everybody went running for their sweaters and jackets. We expect rain somewhere, perhaps around 4 o'clock this afternoon, but we may have to check in with Rick Dickert, our storm scout, because that weather system appears to be advancing faster than we've expected.
We don't need but about 3 hours. We get 3 hours, we'll get this baby in.
If the boys will behave, we can get there. Yeah, right.
Today's race, this is the first time this season that we have run 500 laps. We'll do it again next week at Martinsville, Virginia. 30 miles an hour on pit road. There's the pit window, as Larry pointed out, and Terry Cook was late to the drivers meeting, and that will earn you a spot at the back of the field.
And the 66 car, who qualified 3rd, made a good decision right here, and he's dropping to the rear.
Yeah, but I think the reason you see blank quarter panels for Prism Motorsports, and I think they're only going to run as long as the money will allow them, which probably won't be long.
Joey Logano is going to try to win from the pole. That has not happened at Bristol since Rusty Wallace did it in the spring race 1999, the last time a spring race was run from the pole. Here we go.
Quickly, pull the belts tight. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Biggity, biggity, biggity. Oh, baby, let's go racing, boys.
Kurt Busch fires out, and does he lead the first lap? He does, from Logano.
You know, I thought Logano had fallen asleep, but man, he came off turn 2 and drove right up along the side of Kurt Busch in the 2 car, and that 20's working on the bottom right now.
He's getting a good run from the middle off. He's floating that thing down in the corner, and I think Joey Logano, possibly he'll lead lap 2.
Yeah, he got it. Car really, that 20 car really is good on the bottom, and we've seen that to be difficult here with the layout of the track now.
This track has a progressive banking, Darrell, as Busch forges ahead. To lead the 3rd lap is one lane better than another.
But I'm going to tell you what, the best race car in practice is lurking right there behind Kurt Busch. Jimmy Johnson at 48 ran 116 laps in final practice. Everybody was pointing at that car this morning.
Yeah, he led every category. Fastest 5 laps, fastest 10 laps, long runs. Car was awesome, and here he goes. Matter of fact, I heard him tell the boys, y'all can go ahead and get the champagne set up.
Oh, boy. Here comes Johnson around the outside. Busch led the 5th lap of this race. But look at how well you get a drive off that high lane coming off turn 2. And let's see if Johnson can get the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. He does, as we check with Steve.
Well, Mike, as DW says, Jimmy Johnson's got a great race car, but none of his 49 wins have come here at Bristol. Chad Canals said that last night he and Jimmy Johnson spoke for an hour and a half on how to approach this race. Their approach, stay in the top 10 all day.
Well, and there's no question the safest place at this racetrack, this half-mile track, is at the front. But I can guarantee you, if we stay green, we're going to be lapping cars almost before about lap 15 to 18.
One of the things that really hurts you here is you got to be careful when you get in a lot of traffic. The splitter on the front of these cars sticks out just far enough that if you make a little casual contact, you can cut down one of your tires.
For the lead, Busch looking on the low side. And back at 13th place, Denny Hamlin in the 11, Jamie McMurray in the 1, and Mark Martin.
Mark Martin was fairly happy with this 5 car.